All right, so this question says the population of a city is 100,000. It doubles each decade for 5 decades. You're to select the expression that represents the population of the city after 5 decades. So as you have seen for this entire practice, like the tool or strategy that I use is a table, because it just gives us a very tangible way to see the increase and helps us recognize whether the increase is linear or exponential. So just starting with annotating the important information in this problem, it is the population currently is 100,000. It doubles each decade, and that takes place for 5 decades. Our job is to select the expression that represents population after 5 decades. So that's what we're going to be focused on. Let's get into it. So it starts out with 100,000 in population, and that 100,000 doubles, which means it's multiplied by 2 after the first decade. So that becomes 200,000. And then after the second decade, it doubles again, which means it's multiplied by 2. So this 200,000 is multiplied by 2. That becomes 400,000. That then doubles again. That 400,000 is then multiplied by 2. That becomes 800,000, which in the fourth decade doubles again, which means we're multiplying by 2. And that 800,000 becomes 1,600,000, which in the fifth decade, or after 5 decades, you're multiplying by 2 again because it's doubling. That will become 3,200,000. So which of these expressions shown here is going to represent the total population of the decade after five decades? Sorry. It's definitely not 32,000, because we're looking at here and it starts at 100,000. So that would not make any sense whatsoever. 100,000 times 5, that's going to be 500,000 times 5, that's 2.5 million. No, that's not what we're seeing here. In the third option, we have 100,000 multiplied by 2, and that 2 is multiplied by itself 5 times. And because we notice the repeated multiplication here, this is the one that represents the situation that is shown. Definitely, as we're seeing here, that is going to be I don't like how that is. Let's do that again. Yeah, so this is the same as 10 times 2 to the 5th power, and the 2 to the 5th is just written out in expanded form. And for the bottom, we see that it could not be 320,000, because in the fifth decade is actually 3,205,000. So we know it could not be the fourth option. So it is option 3. Because the increase in population is modeled by exponential growth.